This really pissed me off, but we're going to get into it. Am I the a-hole for ruining my friend's vacation? Now, before we get into this, I'm going to start by saying that from the age of 26 to present day, I have decided that the minute that a woman lets me know that she's pregnant and choosing to become a mother, she is no longer allowed to be a part of my life. I do not allow women who have children to have access to me. And this is why. I, 38 female, just got back from a vacation with two of my longtime friends, Kate, 40 female, and Mary, 38 female. I've known them both since university, and we've always been close. The three of us had been planning this Bali trip for a few months, along with our husbands and their kids. They both have children under 5, while my husband, Jake, 45 male, and I are child-free. We agreed to split the cost of a 4-bedroom villa 3 ways, and everything seemed fine at first. Pause. They each have children under 5, but they split it 3 ways. Nobody charged more for the children. All right? Let's keep going. Jake and I arrived in Bali earlier than the rest of the group because we had different flights. Once we got to the villa, we waited to choose rooms with our friends and didn't mind when they both chose the ones with en suites. We had a great time during the trip. Jake and I did some couples activities, massages, hiking, dinners, but we also spent time with Kate and Mary and their families whenever it worked for everyone. To be nice, I even surprised them with massages to give them a break. Now that sounds like some shit I'd do. Me as the child-free friend, that's me. I'm always giving a massage to someone whether they have children or not. The only thing that made me uncomfortable was that whenever I ordered a drink, a cocktail before dinner, or a glass of wine with meals, I'd get comments like, "Oh, you're drinking again." For context, I'm a social drinker, and I don't drink often, but we're on vacation, and I didn't think it was a big deal, especially since our husbands were drinking too. I just ignored the comments so I could enjoy the trip. Already they being some hating ass heifers. They are already being some hating ass heifers. All right, here's where it's going to get a little challenging for me to read, so I'm going to come with the next screenshot. All right, on the last night, Jake and I made plans with the guys to go out, and Kate and Mary said they were staying in to pack. Jake convinced me to join him, and since it was the last night of our vacation, I didn't want to stay in either. We went out and had a great time. We got home at 1 a.m. and I passed out straight after. The next morning was a bit chaotic with everyone packing and checking out, but we all made it back home without issue. We had booked business class seats, so we were separated during the flight and said quick goodbyes at the airport. A week after returning home, I got a long text from Kate saying that both she and Mary wanted to reduce contact with me because I had ruined their vacation. They mentioned several things, like me drinking every night, that I wasn't acting like a girl's girl, that I booked different flights, didn't hang out with them enough, and that I was selfish for not helping with their kids. She even said I was just focused on partying and not acting my age. This message really hurt me. I cried after reading it, and I honestly don't know what to think. I thought I was just enjoying my vacation, but clearly they had a different view. I haven't responded yet, and my husband has been asking what's bothering me, but I don't know what to say. Am I the a-hole for how I acted during the trip? Now let's go for my commentary. First things first, no, she's not the a-hole. And second of all, does anybody notice how Mary and Kate aren't mad at their husbands? Their husbands were out drinking until 1 in the morning. Their husbands weren't home helping with the children that night. Their husbands weren't home helping with the packing. But they're not mad at their husbands. Their husbands also have children with them. They're not mad at their husbands. They're mad at their child-free, also married friend because she wasn't trapped with mommy duties like they were. She was able to drink and let her hair down, and they weren't because they're mommies. They can't be out having cocktails like that. They've got to go home and take care of the kids. They were jealous of her freedom and her free time. They were jealous that her and her man could go out. The boys were going out and she could go out with them and be with her husband while they had to be home with the kids. which is why the boys went out, so that they can get away from the kids and the old nags and the old bags. Let's just be for real. This is pure misogyny, and this happens all the time when it comes to men, right? Women will visit their frustrations at the lack of help that they're receiving on their female friends because they feel entitled to your labor as a woman. Because they, like all of us, have been socialized that it's what girls do. That's what this girls comment means. This girls bullshit is about, oh, you know, we're girls and we all travel together because we have kids and you don't have kids and you're not being a girl's girl. Now, I'm not being a breeder girl. You cannot, as a child-free woman, be friends with breeders without having some clear boundaries and without having some strong skin, some tough skin, because we are all socialized, programmed, and conditioned as women, as females, for the community or the village. When you exist outside of the village think, the community think, the group think, you will be attacked this way. This was an attack on her. We're going to reduce contact because you decided to enjoy your vacation, sans children, and we chose to spread it wide and take man juice and make a baby, and we're mad at you that you aren't in our group. So we don't want you in our little club anymore because you're not playing by our little rules. And look, on the one hand, they have a right to only want to be friends with women who get where they're at and where they're coming from. But you don't get to punish a woman for enjoying her vacation. She didn't ruin your vacation. Your husband's ruined your vacation. Where is his long text message? Where's his berating? Where's his reduced contact? Your husband's ruined your vacation. This is why I decided not to be friends with women who are in the breeder class of womanhood. When you are in the sovereign class of womanhood, breeder class women and you do not have anything enough in common anymore. Maybe before they chose to enter into breeder class, you did. But the minute that they chose to take the man juice and become mothers, they entered breeder class. They exited sovereign class. They already exited by being wives, but they really divorced themselves from sovereign class by entering breeder class. And it's hard to climb back out. It's hard enough to climb out when you just enter by being married. And I know that as a former married lady. It's hard enough to climb back into out of breeder class into sovereign class. And you never really get out of breeder class because you have children. But it's difficult enough to get out of being grouped into breeder class without kids just by being married, because that's breeder class. That is the breeder class. That's what it is. Marriage is breeder class status. You get pressure when you're married and you don't have children. You're pressured into having children. This is a form of that pressure. This is a form of that pressure. So she'll hurry up and have kids so her friends will accept her, or, this is a form of that pressure. This is a form of peer pressure. You're not one of us, so we want you out the group. All right, cool. Choose to just not be in their group. Once your friends start having kids, you don't have anything in common. They always want to bring the kids around. They expect you to be okay with the kids. They expect you to help with the kids. If you're not fawning over the children and helping them with the children, there's something wrong with you. They're judging you all the time because of your freedom. They're jealous of your freedom. They're jealous of your happiness. They're jealous of your economic freedom. Because you can spend on a business class seat. They had to get economy because they got all the little rugrats. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm just including this in case you wanted to read it because they only give us 10 minutes. But she just says, thank you for the kind words. She told her husband about what was going on. She hasn't responded yet. But she feels less alone, and I'm glad for that. No, you're not the a-hole. Your friends are a-holes. Stop being friends with women who are breeders, and you're not a breeder. You have no intention of having kids. Leave the breeder class females alone. I'm sorry. Yes, even if you're a married woman.